What's up? Welcome to the Cow's Den. I am Josh. With me, as always, is Matt. What's up, Matt?
False. Bears beat Battlestar Galactica.
So, as usual, we're gonna talk comics, pop culture, nerdy shit, stuff like that. This is episode 18 now.
I believe so.
18.
We're legal
And
now.
now,
We
now
are
we're legal.
legal.
Like last episode, we could watch an R-rated movie. Now we're legal. All right, so I usually start with comics. I'm going to start with that today. We'll start with a comic called Dark Ages. We got it back here. Not going to pull it up. That's the Scotty Young cover back here. We got Spider-Man hanging from a little telephone pole. But Dark Ages is pretty cool. It's like this idea that I guess there was this entity, this giant. Like I said, the only thing I could think is like Galactus. It's just a cosmic being type thing who was destroying universes billions of years ago, and in order to capture him, they kind of stuck him into this forming planet, and the planet was Earth. So he's been inside the core of Earth for uh, billions of years. I don't even think it's millions. I think it's billions, is what they said. So he starts to awaken. I forget what actually causes him to like wake up. Forget what actually causes him to like wake up, but all these earthquakes and all this crazy shit starts happening. So everybody's like, what the hell's going on? They go down into the core of the earth and find out there's this big guy down there, and in order to like take him out, it wasn't in order to take him out, they actually had to use Doctor Strange to open up a portal to a electromagnetic like universe. And the crazy part is, spoilies, right after he opens this portal, the dude in the middle freaking kills Doctor Strange. So this portal's opened and it can't really be shut because Doctor Strange is like dead. So the electromagnetic waves just keep pillowing out, and it ends up taking over the whole world and causes a dark age. The name Dark Ages, yay. What I thought was what's kind of crazy is at the end of it, like this is all going through the first issue, and at the end of it, it's really about Spider-Man. He's telling this story to he's like sitting around a campfire telling the story of how this all happened. And then it says, but years after the lights went out, after the end came the apocalypse. And at the very last page, you get Apocalypse right here, and his little crew. I know it's kind of a blurry shot here. Let's see. But we got like, this was the Hulk I mentioned this Hulk, and I can't remember what his name is, but we got like an Iron Man up here. We got a Spider-Man Venom-ish thing going on over here. I think that's actually Miles's Venom suit. I think that's
no kidding.
I think it's actually Miles's Venom suit. And again, you can't see it too well, but this is Beast right here. Beast looks awesome.
You can tell with the belt, that
Right.
yellow belt.
Right. But the way he looks is really cool. He looks like a beast rather than being like, oh, kind of human, kind of beast. Like he looks pretty badass. But it was cool. It's definitely an interesting take, definitely something different. It's also Tom Taylor, and I freaking love Tom Taylor. I will back Tom Taylor forever. He does the Nightwing series I love. He does the new Superman series I love. He did Deceased, which was like DC's version of Marvel Zombies almost. Yeah, great writer. It's a good story.
This
so
is
far.
called
It's only
Dark Ages.
Yeah, just called Dark Ages, and it's not like I don't know. I think it's just Marvel's Dark Ages. What's cool though is the fact that they brought Apocalypse. Like it's definitely going to be a all-encompassing thing like zombies or something to that effect. So the next one is Twig. Twig is actually not out yet. This is a preview. I got this for ordering Scotty Young. Just talking about that Scotty Young cover over there. Scotty Young's The Me You Love in the Dark, which started a few weeks back. For getting that, they were awesome and sent me this Twig preview. And Twig it's cool. Really all it says is shows off that it says Twig is getting a new job and nothing will ever be the same. And it's all this like fantasy Zelda style, maybe D&D-ish if that's what you're into, but I think it's more Zelda or like Lord of the Rings, that type of thing. It's big open world fantasy kind of thing. They even have like the Deku tree from Zelda. Did you play any of the Zelda games, Matt? I know you kind of liked them, but I don't know if you ever really played any of them. Did you? How did that happen? What's that, guys? So did you play any of the Zelda games, Matt? I know you kind of liked them, but did you play any of them? Like, I mean, like really play all the way through. I
I
mean,
played Ocarina.
okay.
Yeah, Ocarina, and some of the like GameCube N64 ones. Yeah,
Well, I
I
was gonna
couldn't
say
tell you the name.
Ocarina was actually the one where there was the big Deku tree, and he was like, it's just a big
Yeah.
tree, and he's got a little face on him. And he's dying in the story, is the whole thing. But yeah, it looks cool. The artwork for it's beautiful. Scotty Young does good writing. He's got he does like I Hate Fairyland. He did this, the Me You Love in the Dark, which is cool. Um, and the artwork looks beautiful for it. Normally, I love Scotty's artwork, but this Kyle Stram, I believe Kyle Stram still has it available on his website, but don't quote me on that. It might be sold out by now. But if so, definitely grab a little twig preview. It comes out next year, 2022. I don't know if there's a specific date on it yet, though. But it looks cool. It looks cute. Looks interesting. Looks like it'll be fun. All right, then. Do you remember? I believe it was the last episode, if not the episode before, where I talked about a comic called Suicide Squad Get Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the whole thing about the first one at the end was that Suicide Squad killed Amanda Waller, and now he's got the button. He's got the button that can kill the Suicide Squad. So in this issue, it's kind of like them just doing whatever the Joker says because he's got the damn button. So
That's pretty cool.
He sends
is Harley
Harley's on the squad. Yeah, Harley's on the squad.
Is she his ex-girlfriend at this time still?
Yeah, they're still not together. I like that they're kind of that's kind of like
continuing that.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Harley going off and doing her own thing. It's cool. She's been with him for too damn long, So
yeah,
but yes, and it's mentioned multiple times. She's all like calls him an asshole and stuff like that. And actually, what they do is he takes them all to a strip club and forces them all to go to a strip club. And then they all get there and they're like, "What the hell are we supposed to do? He's not even here." And so they hang out for a little while. He shows up and he tells Harley, "Strip for me like the old days, or else I'm gonna blow your head up." And yeah, and so she does, and it's funny because one of the other guys pulls this fast one. He's like, "I'm gonna go up." He's like, "Oh, Harley's fucking banging. I'm gonna go up here and fucking drop a hundo in her little G-string while she's stripping." And he goes up to put money in there, but he's got like a what's it called, a box cutter in there with the money, so he slips it in, and so she slips it in, puts it up into her mouth while she's dancing, gets all the way up on the Joker, and then uses it to slit his throat a little bit, like not enough to kill him by any means, but enough to kind of like, oh shit. So then
does he drop the button?
She swipes the button, tosses it to one of them can like teleport or something, so he grabs it, teleports outside. And so they had left, again, this is gonna be major spoilies, they had left Toy Man out on the in the van. They were like, "You got to stay out here in the van to keep watch." The guy who teleports comes outside. He's like, "Toy Man, I got the button. Let's get out of here." And Toy Man just grabs him, cracks his neck. Right? I was like, "Oh shit, okay." And so before he can get anybody else, they kill him.
Kill Toy Man.
And hold on. So then
so who gets the button?
Well, no, Toy Man. I'm sorry. Toy Man turned out to be a robot. That was the whole thing. His Toy Man wasn't actually Toy Man. He was a robot. So they destroy the robot. And then there's this big explosion and coming out of the smoke. They're like, "Oh, who the hell's that?" And it's you can't see this. It's the other squad. So we got Deathstroke, we got Rick Flag, we got Peacemaker, what's Idris Elba's character,
Bloodsport,
Deadshot. And that's like, so you find out like that's the new team who was brought in to take out the old team and still try to kill the Joker
because the old team fucked up,
basically. And so yeah, dude, I'm like extremely digging this. There's only my only complaint about it is that there's only one more issue. It's only supposed to be 3 big issues. um
Yeah.
that's my only complaint about it, is that it's going to be short. But other than that, man, it is crazy. I'm loving every minute of it because it's Jason Todd. And oh man, there's a scene where he walks in, right when he walks into the club, he walks straight up to Jason and he goes, "I'm going to be honest with you, it's killing me not to kill you again." And I was just like,
The
oh yes. Like,
Joker
oh, I
says that
love
to
it.
him.
Yeah, he gets all up in his face, like right in his ear, and he's like, "It's killing me not to kill you again." And I was just like, oh dude. Ugh, they're
I love
dynamic,
Jason
dude.
Todd. I
Right.
love
I
Jason
love it.
Todd.
I almost feel like, I mean, Bruce and Joker have always been, mortal enemies, but I almost feel like Jason's got a little more against him than Bruce does, just in the sense of like he fucking killed him.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, so that's it as far as like comics I've read these past couple weeks. There is one coming out this week that I I'm trying to recommend, like a hot comic. And hot comic for this week is Iron Man 12. It's the Miles Morales 10th anniversary edition. Marvel is doing a big thing of 10th anniversary Miles Morales covers. Most of them don't seem to be, they're just normal type covers, but for some reason, this Iron Man one, it's a cover of Miles as a DJ doing the wearing big old headphones and stuff. And it's selling out. It's selling out. It's not even, it's out on Wednesday and it's like, it's already up on eBay for 25-30 bucks. Like
Wow.
it's not even out yet. So it's like, definitely, if if your local shop gets it, and Matt, you too, man, if you go on Wednesday, definitely grab Iron Man 12, the Miles Morales cover.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not 100% sure as to why. Like, I mean, it's a cool cover, but like, I don't know. There was even a thing, like an article that said it was the most reordered comic before cutoff, because like a bunch of shops just
Wow.
suddenly got a bunch of pre-orders for it, and they were like, "Oh, let's order a bunch more." So I don't know. I don't know.
It's crazy.
All right, so then I'm going to change it up a little bit. I usually talk comics and movies and stuff, but I am going to dip into video games this week. Um, just, I believe it was yesterday, if not the day before, Sony did their big PlayStation showcase and showed off all kinds of new games that are coming out, including Insomniac, who did the Spider-Man game. They officially showed off a Spider-Man 2 trailer with fucking Venom in it, and I lost my mind. Um, they also showed off that Insomniac, who again does the Spider-Man games, is also making a Wolverine game. And it's a very teasery trailer, but dude, it's like, so he walks into a bar and all you see of Logan is like he puts his hands, or his hands are like sitting on the bar, and all of a sudden just like this guy comes to talk
Sneak.
shit or something, and then freak. And I was like, ah, yes. Oh, and then of course, God of War Ragnarok. I mean, if you
Yeah, that trailer was awesome.
like, I don't know. I feel like I don't understand how anybody could not like the God of War games, man. I mean, the
Yeah.
original three, the original trilogy were so fun. Ascension, I
And
think, was the like origin one, and that one was okay. But like then they
but
came
they
back and
brought him
rebooted.
back
Yeah.
and it was
And
actually good,
like I don't think I've
you
ever
know?
enjoyed a like rebooted series the way this is, because technically speaking, it's still a
Like
sequel.
Gears. Yeah, like Gears, I didn't really care for 4. I didn't
Four
really
and
care for
five
5.
haven't been, I mean, they're not
You know,
terrible, but they're just
no.
not as good. um
But this continuation of the original trilogy is actually very good.
and
Very good.
it was so cool because it's like a soft reboot. Like they didn't reboot it
Right.
because it's all about him and his son,
No.
so obviously they continued the story,
Yeah.
but they've recrafted the entire game, and it was so fun. The last one was one of the most
Yeah.
fun games I think I've ever played. So I'm really pumped for Ragnarok. And of course, Ragnarok is going to be all about Asgard, Thor, finding out spoilies at the end of the first one that Atreus, or wait, I can't remember what he actually named him, but the kid's name was actually
For
Loki.
you?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember him calling him boy all the time. But his
Yeah.
his real
Yep.
name was freaking Loki. You find that out at the end. So it's like I'm interested to see, like, is he just Loki? Like, is he just Loki? Is he part ice giant or whatever? Like, I'm interested to
Is
see
he
how
going to
that works.
be right? Is he going to be Thor's brother? Is he going to be Thor's
Right. That's
nephew?
kind of what I'm
Like, how's
getting at
that?
is like, how are they going
Yeah,
to play it out? Because I mean, clearly he didn't grow up with Thor, so
right.
it'd be interesting to see. It'd definitely be interesting to see. And the trailer looks really cool. I cannot wait to like fight against Thor or fight against, all those people. Yeah, it looks really good, really good. Definitely pumped for that one. Along with those trailers was the Matrix Resurrection trailer. And I want to know what did you watch the trailer, Matt?
I did. I
I'm
did.
curious what you
I did.
think.
I was on the boat that I don't know. I never read why Morbius is not coming back,
Right, me neither.
and so, but I mean, Keanu looks great. The
And like
graphics look great.
the new guy, I don't know, is he supposed to be Lawrence Fishburne's character or is he just a somebody else who happens to like look and act
Look,
almost exactly
yeah,
like him? I mean,
yeah.
that's why I'm
So
assuming maybe it's like that's a younger version of
I
his character or something. I don't know. I don't know.
right, and I like the original trilogy. Don't get me wrong, but I think they should have left it alone.
No, yeah.
I'm
I
I'm
think they should have left it at
hoping
just the one movie, but two
the
and three
third
were
one was good.
2 and 3 were still
Third one was
pretty
good.
good. Don't get me wrong. 2 and 3 were still pretty good. I think at the time I remember because it's like everybody was they did the one in I think it was 99 was the first one, and then the other ones weren't for like 4 or 5 years, and suddenly they were like boom, boom, here's two of them. So you were kind of it
Right,
kind of felt like a separate story when it came out. So it didn't,
right.
I don't know. It was still good, still
Go together.
enjoyable, and I'm
Right.
always excited
I'm
to see
worried that
Keanu.
I'm worried that they're beating a dead horse, and
I know, and
so
at the same
we'll
time, you
see.
never know.
But
It could be a good way for them to like introduce a new set of characters. Obviously, there's a bunch of new people in it. I was
right, but Neo died. Like,
I know. So I know, dude. At the end of the third one, like with the whole, he was all, "Oh," I
yeah,
know. He like I thought the whole point was he
I thought he
sacked himself
sacrificed
to
himself for
destroy
Zion,
everything, like
for Zion.
to destroy
Well,
the
to
Matrix,
fix,
basically.
to kill
Like
Smith, well, no, to kill Smith, and
yeah,
to let them keep Zion going, because like there was a cycle of every
all right,
like 40 years or whatever, they would have a new Messiah and
right,
everything.
right.
So, but I thought, yeah, he
Been a
sacrificed
long time
himself to
since I've
save
watched either
Zion
two
and to
or three, to
kill
be honest
Agent
with you.
Smith. So,
Right,
yeah,
right. Either way, I am interested just because I mean it's Keanu, it's the Matrix. I'm interested in where they're going to
right.
go with the story. It was very crazy to see Neil Patrick
I'll still
Harris,
watch it. Yeah,
even though I do like that they put Neil in just kind of a regular type role. He's not like he doesn't look like he's going to be doing this crazy action. He's actually a fucking agent or whatever, which he might be. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I think it looks good. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think on one hand, it could be really good. On the other hand, it could be okay. So,
right.
and that's actually it for me. There was one more thing I wanted to talk about, but again, I think we're going to talk about it together. So I will hold off on that for now. So, Matt, what is up, dude?
Yo, so I'm gonna talk about the thing that me and Josh are gonna talk about at the end.
Yeah.
But the big thing that I'm talking about is the Walking Dead and the Walking Dead universe. So
Oh, yeah.
last week, the Walking Dead dropped a World Beyond trailer. Anybody who's watched these knows that I'm not the biggest fan of the World Beyond. I felt like it was like a teenaged emo version of the Walking Dead. At least the first season was. I didn't really care for it, but when they announced it was only going to be 2 seasons and that there was a high possibility of seeing Rick in the second season, I've been waiting for season 2 to drop. The big
Right.
news coming out of the second trailer is it looks really good. It looks a lot more action packed, a lot more information. But the biggest thing is you see Jadis at the end of the trailer. And if you're not familiar, Jadis is the one who went on the helicopter and got Rick out of when he was after he blew up the bridge in season 9 of The Walking Dead. She's the one that flew out with him. So
Major
I'm really hopeful
spoilies,
that
bro. No, I'm kidding.
I
I'm kidding.
know it's only been around for 2 years, Um, So, but I am very hopeful that the rumors are true, and seeing Jadis finally in the world beyond kind of confirms that there's hope that you'll see Rick before the movies that were supposed to be made 5 years ago come out.
Well, and if
So
anything, it at least shows that the worlds are combined. I mean, that it's not,
yes,
I don't know. I know that it's all part of one world anyway, but I'm just saying that the
they're
characters are
yeah,
interacting. There you go.
yeah. I still hold hope that this series and Fear the Walking Dead were kind of creating this Western alliance that the Walking Dead comic talked about on the
Yeah,
very
that'd be
last
cool.
issue. So yeah, what I'm hopeful for. Um, but the other thing was season 11 has been kicked off on The Walking Dead. So season 11, episode 3, they've been fighting this group that actually had wiped out Maggie's group. They're called the Reapers. And episode 3, it's okay. I'd say it's about a 7 out of 10. The opening scene is amazing. It gives you this horror kind of vibe where they're fighting at night against these shadow people, and it's very scary. Well, not scary, but it's very horror, jump scare orientated, the first scene. But the rest of the scene, honestly, or the rest of the episode, it's just once again about Maggie and Negan. And I thought they did very well with the first episode. And I feel like the last 2 episodes they've just kind of overdone it. Like I just feel like it's time. Either she needs to come or she needs to move forward.
Right. I think we
And
talked
I
about
feel
that
like
on the
they're
last
spending.
episode. It was,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and they're doing it again. They disappointed me. I really thought they were going to actually surprise me and kill Negan after he left her in this tunnel to be supposedly killed by zombies. So the third episode is not that great, but I will say the fourth episode has the best death I've ever seen, in my opinion, between the show and the comic. So you get to follow Daryl. So after this fight happened in episode 3, the group kind of splits off. So episode 3, you have Negan and Maggie. Episode 4 follows Daryl chased one of them into the woods. One of the big things about Daryl right now is his best friend in the world is this dog, and he simply just calls it dog. And
Okay.
they show how he got the dog last season. I want to say he met this girl, supposedly possibly a love interest. And so she disappeared, and he didn't know where she went. Well, he chased this Reaper, and it ends up that the girl comes back as one of the Reapers, and so
Oh,
she's like standing next to the dog, and Daryl's trying to get it to come over, and it refuses to come over. That's when she takes off her mask, and it reveals that it's her.
oh shit.
Um, but the really awesome part about this episode, and why I'm so high now on this series, they've introduced this group that to my knowledge isn't in the comic. They're called the Reapers. And I thought that it was going to be another one of those kind of things, introducing new people into the show I've never really liked, or people that weren't in the comic I've never really liked.
Right.
I absolutely love their leader. So you find out because Daryl gets taken into this group, and they're trying to turn him into one of their own kind of thing, or she is, so they don't kill him. One of the Reapers died in the fight with Daryl and the group. And so they brought his body back and everything. And they're doing like this ceremony of like kind of like a religious ceremony, saying goodbye to him kind of thing. And then the music for Pope, the leader's name's Pope. The music score for him is so good. It's eerie, it's strong, it's creepy. I know it's kind of a weird thing to say, but his music score is amazing. It's like dun 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 dun, dun. Like, it's hard to kind of do,
Right.
but definitely get out, because like he comes out of the shadows and it's like, God is angry, I'm angry,
No
and it's
shit.
just it's very
So we're
cool
having
to see. So
there we go.
they have where he puts Dale and his friend the one who owned Dog, inside of this room, and he ends up setting it on fire to see what happens, if Daryl's going to survive or not. It's kind of like, it's what he calls a baptism. Before that, though, you find out that they're basically a group of ex-Marines, ex-Army that fought in Afghanistan, and that they've survived this long because they think basically God is helping them, that they're the chosen ones. That's why they're the Reapers. Um, so Daryl and this girl get out of this room that he had set on fire, and so like he like accepts Daryl into the group. And then the episode ends with the most brutal death and best death I've ever seen in the comic or the show. Before this, I would say Glenn was my favorite death because it was so brutal, so shocking.
It was
But
so impactful. Like you
yeah,
grew up, like you grew to love Glenn, and so it was
yes,
so impactful. Even more so, I don't
yes.
know, man. I would say more so in the book, but like it hurt pretty bad in the show too, man. It hurt pretty bad in the
Well,
show.
and Rick, I hated the way Rick died. I hated the way Rick died. I thought I didn't like Kirkman's
Oh, in the
excuse for
comic,
it. He
yeah,
said,
yeah.
yeah, he said, oh, well, Rick has beaten everything. The only way that he could die is to finally let his guard down and have somebody weak, like what's his name? I can't remember.
The one who kills
The
him. Yeah, I don't.
yeah, the president's daughter
President's
kill him. Morton
son.
or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
Son. There we go.
yeah.
President's son. Duh.
I don't know, but
Um,
it really
but
was a bitch
but
move. Anyway, sorry.
yeah, but I liked the comic and the show's death of Glenn, but I will
Right.
say this is my favorite death by far. So you've got Pope and you have this Reaper. This Reaper is the one who brought the dead Reaper's body back. And Pope
Okay.
points out the fact that, oh, are your wounds healed? And he says, yeah. He goes, well, how did you get them on your back? And so, obviously alluding to the fact that he was running away from the fight. And so he looks over at Daryl and he's like, we never run from the fight. We never leave our family behind. And then he kind of turns and looks at the rest of the people and he says, God baptizes in fire and he shows his wrath. And he pushes this guy down into the fire and puts his foot on the back of his neck and holds him down as he's burned alive. And it
Jesus.
shows everything. Yeah, it shows everything. And it has that creepy music, dun, 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 like going
Like
on the
his
whole
music,
time. And he's
whatever.
just
Like,
looking
oh,
around. Yeah.
jeez, yeah.
And he goes, and after like literally like probably 25 seconds, he lifts his foot up and says, we are the chosen ones. And it's so insane. The
Brutal,
death is
yeah.
nuts. Yes, it is so brutal. And that airs tomorrow. So that is a spoiler, but man, I love it. This episode is up there with episode 1 of this season. I think they've done 2 really good episodes and they've done 2 episodes. So the Reapers are awesome. The leader Pope is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill his people, not like Negan. He doesn't just fuck you, fuck you. He's doing it for a reason. I think that this group is very, I know they're going to end up making them die some stupid way or get beat by the group, but I would say like they are up there as far as, even though they're low in numbers because of their military background, I think that would make them a harder fight for this group. And
Yeah.
man, that fight in the middle of the night, they took out like 2 or 3 members of the group, slashed the throat of Father Gabriel. Like it was brutal.
Damn.
So yeah, like they're a group that, like, for once in the history of the show of them introducing new people or new groups, I really like them, especially their leader. So I would say 9 out of 10. And if you weren't a fan of The Walking Dead the past few episodes, or if you've gone away from it, and check out season 11, it's going in the right direction. I know that this is going to be just a small story arc of the first 6 episodes, because the second 18 episodes are going to be mainly about the Commonwealth. But this group is really cool, and the guy who plays Pope does an amazing job, and the score is awesome. So I would definitely
And
recommend checking it out.
and so I'm gonna sound like the dumbass here. That you did say that was regular Walking Dead, right? Not World Beyond. Like this is
Yes.
all going in
Yeah.
regular Walking Dead series. Okay.
Yep. So regular Walking Dead, they're doing 6 episodes for the beginning of season 11, and then in the springtime, they'll start the 18 full season, or 16 episodes of the full season.
Right on.
So and that'll be it. So yeah, so World Beyond is coming out in like a month. They're coming out October 3rd.
Oh, it was the trailer
So
for
see,
World Beyond. That's what it was. See,
yes.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I got mixed up. That's where I was confused.
Yep.
Again, I don't watch. I
So
honestly have not watched any World Beyond. Then again, I've not watched any. What was the other one?
Fear the Walking Dead,
Fear the Walking Dead. I haven't watched any of that either. So
which, man, Fear the Walking Dead. I love the Walking Dead. What a shocker, right? But I will say after they killed Carl, I lost a lot of effort into it. Fear of the Walking Dead brought me back as far as my love for it. I still watch The Walking Dead.
right.
But like some of the decisions were really bad. Like I felt like the Pike death scene was way more impactful in the comic
Oh
than what
my
it was in the
God.
show. I did you watch it on the show though?
I've not. I've not. I think I only got up to like season 5 or 6 on the show. I haven't finished. I haven't caught up yet.
It's not nearly as good as when the comic, man. In the comic, dude,
Well,
it was so awesome. It was
because it
so
wasn't
awesome.
just, and again, spoilies. I mean, I know this is long past stuff, but still, it wasn't just the governor. Wait, not the governor. It wasn't just Ezekiel. It wasn't just Ezekiel
King,
that was.
yeah.
It wasn't just Ezekiel that was
He
like
wiped off the
impactful.
whole
It was
kingdom.
exactly. It was everybody, and
He
like
wiped out the whole
it's
fucking
like it
kingdom.
started because
I
it was
mean,
like, oh, there's
gone.
this person, and I was looking at it like, holy shit, that's holy shit. And then you flip that page and it's just Ezekiel in your face, and you're just like, oh
Yeah.
my God. Like,
The kingdom's gone. The
yeah.
kingdom's gone like that.
Yep. Yep.
And like I don't care for the way that they handled that. So even though The Walking Dead has struggled at times, they've come back and they've done well sometimes too. But I really feel like Fear the Walking Dead has a great story arc so far, and I feel like I'm hoping and praying that World Beyond season 2 gives us some answers on what's been going on with Rick, on why this group exists and what they're doing and everything. So
Right.
they're obviously performing tests to try to figure out a cure for the zombies. But definitely check out the trailer. A lot more action, a lot more information. Definitely check it out. So, and the only other thing that I had to talk about today, actually, Josh, was what you wanted to talk about: the return to the theaters for Marvel. And don't get me wrong, Black Widow, yes, I get that that was the first one, but it's a prequel.
And
This,
it was still theater / Disney Plus. So you
yes,
didn't have to go to the theater.
yeah, man, Shang-Chi, I
Shang-Chi was
absolutely, I
whew,
loved it. I loved it.
um
I thought that with everything going on with Corona, I was so concerned that with Disney Plus doing, also releases and everything, I was worried that we may never see another Marvel movie in theater, so
I
why go
mean,
see it if you can pay to see it at home. I'm
if I'm
glad that they did it like this. I'm so glad they did it like this.
if I'm being totally honest with you, I personally would think that I would prefer that from now on, every movie has the option of staying home if you want to. That's
Right.
just a personal opinion.
Right. No, absolutely. But I completely understand that.
It,
But that's why I
yeah.
was worried that you would start losing some of these movies because they weren't
they're not
making
going to
as
put
much
as much.
money.
Yeah, they're not going to put as much money into it if they're not
Yeah.
going to get as much back. I get that.
So,
I
so
totally
what'd you think
get
of the movie, man?
when I totally get why we're being kind of pushed back in the theaters. I get it. Of course, they got to make their money. I'm not mad
Yeah.
at them. I'm just saying personal preference would always be to have that option
No,
if I want to, but that's just me. Um,
I love
I
theaters. That's
I
my
do
big
too.
thing
I
is
do
I
too.
I
Um,
love the theater experience, man. And
and
seeing a Marvel movie in
and
theaters for the first time in years.
Well, and like
Oh,
a big part of it depends on the movie. Like there was
yeah.
this movie, I haven't watched it yet, but it's called Malignant, just came out, but it's
Yeah.
a Warner Brothers horror movie, and it's in theaters and on HBO Max. And I'm sorry, I ain't going to the theater for that one. I'm gonna watch on
No,
HBO Max.
no.
But
Same thing. I'm going to watch it on HBO Max, but I
but
wanted to see
we went and
the
saw
return to the
Suicide
big
Squad in
screen.
theater,
Yeah.
even though, because we were like, fuck, this has got to be a good. Anyway, let's go back to it. Shang-Chi blah, is really, really good. The only complaint I have is the same complaint I have with all the Marvel movies, and it's just simply that it tends to follow that Marvel formula. It's not necessarily a bad thing because obviously it's working for them. I just think
Yeah.
that's the only thing that I would complain about. Otherwise, the movie was fantastic.
Dude,
The
great story,
action,
great action,
the
great
the like the
CGI.
the kung fu shit, the fighting and shit was
Yeah.
so good, and the CGI was incredible. It looked fantastic, and I'll
Well,
say it, dude.
and what's her
Aquafina,
name?
they gave Aquafina a fucking like a
Well,
depth. Like they didn't just throw her in
and
there.
she didn't
She
make her
had
funny.
character
She didn't
development.
make,
Now she cracked
yeah,
a
they
few
didn't
jokes here
make
and
her
there, but yeah,
right.
yeah.
She
But
wasn't the comic relief, you know.
right, she had,
She
like I
was
said, she had
natural. It seemed more
actual character
natural.
development, dude. By the end
Yeah.
of it, she was shooting a fucking bow and arrow into the dragon's neck. Like, holy shit,
Yeah.
right? I mean, um,
I
yeah,
loved seeing Abomination fighting what's his name? Is it Wang?
Wong.
Wong. Dude, I love seeing Wong in there, and I loved the parts that the movie
It felt a
reminded me a
little
lot of Doctor
random, but
Strange, you
not
know.
bad. It just felt a little random.
Yeah, yeah. Like the
Um,
movie reminded me of kind of like Doctor Strange, where I was kind of and seeing it, but then like the trailers got better and better, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go see it,
well,
and I was just blown away.
and
I thought it was
again, I think
great.
we kind of talked about like, or well, we've mentioned it that this is like the first new standalone movie that's not like a prequel or like or like it's not,
Yeah,
it's the first new like original character movie in what, 5 years or something like that, didn't we say, until like 20,
yeah.
was it like 2016 or
Was
something like
Black
that?
Panther
I think it was something like that. So maybe it was
was Black Panther the last
2018. Oh,
one
Black Panther was 2018, I think. I don't know. Anyway, it's been like the first like new character really
in a
building from the
while?
start in a while. Yeah.
Well, and I'll tell you two things that I really loved was seeing Sir Ben Kingsley and the explanation
Dude,
on
yes, it
Shang-Chi's
fucking
dad
rectified
being
Iron
Mandal.
Man 3 in my
Yes,
opinion. It completely
yes,
rectified Iron Man
yes,
3 in my
because that
opinion.
yes. And then also the explanation of Thanos that like he's being dropped. Like they're admitting that, like, hey, you never know when something like Thanos will happen. Like, I'm glad that they're still remembering Thanos and still continuing that story of what the devastation that he caused and all that.
Because they were like, we live in
Um,
a world where you can disappear for 5 years or something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But seeing
But
Sir Ben Kingsley, his role
dude,
was amazing,
because
man. It was
because
awesome.
I fucking hated Iron Man
Hated
3.
Iron Man
I
3.
didn't hate the movie. I hated that. I hated that so
Yes.
much because I loved the Mandarin and I thought he was an awesome character. And then when they brought him in
Yep.
and then you find out he's just an actor, I remember being like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
but yes, the way this one was done was so awesome. It was so cool. And he's even like,
It
they
makes
take my
Iron
character.
Man decent. It makes Iron Man 3 decent.
Yeah. But he was even like, they took my character and then turned it into some orange or whatever. And I was like, yeah.
Mm.
Because if you think about it, like that's the thing, is the Mandarin had 10 rings, but not the
Yeah.
10 rings like on here. Like, yeah, it was cool. It was interesting. And
Yeah.
again, spoilies, I did not expect giant dragon fights at the end. Like
Yeah.
it went
Yeah.
big, it went
Yeah.
huge.
Yep.
I really
And this
enjoyed it.
is, yeah, he's one of the characters I never really got into.
Same.
But like, man, the movie blew me away. I really, really was impressed. Going back to the whole theater thing. I wanted that experience again of seeing a Marvel cinematic movie up on the
Yeah.
big screen and
Oh
just
yeah.
seeing that and feeling that again. It was
Oh,
awesome.
and where we went,
I'm
dude. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm glad that they did so well with it. And I'm glad that the movie overall, it's up there. I'd say it's 8, 9 out of 10. You know,
I'd give it a solid
I think it's up there.
8.59, dude. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really good. And when we went and saw it too, is like, yeah, you even had that experience of like when it ended, the theater was just like, yeah, woo, you know,
Yep.
like you actually had some
Well, and then
scenes where
everybody
people were like,
sat
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And everybody sat around waiting for the end credits, and it's like that's
I
what I missed with
I
Marvel.
was I was
I know
kind
the
of
end
hoping
credit wasn't that great,
it wasn't that great. Like, and
but
don't get me wrong,
still.
I get it. It introduces the sister and her taking over the reins, and I get that. But I felt like the end credits supposed to kind of lead into something else, lead into like the bigger picture or something. But it was
Well,
still
yeah, it's
fine.
Wong coming in and saying welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, so they're like part of the Avengers now, basically. Yeah.
Basically,
Well, I
yeah.
was talking
And
about
he
like the
opens that
post
portal
post,
and
the one at the
then
very end, where it's like
yeah,
the daughter taking over the place, the temple or whatever.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's still really cool, and it's awesome that she kind of came full circle. She couldn't train with the boys when she was younger. Now she's running the whole fucking place, so that is pretty cool. Um,
Yeah.
Dude, it was good. It was good all around. Solid action, solid acting. And again, Aquafina, I know some people don't care for her. Some people can find her kind of annoying. I like her anyway.
I do
But
too, yeah.
I think even in this one that she like, yeah, she
She's
had good
not
character development.
she's
She
not
had good
overbearing. She's
exactly.
not, yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Really good. Definitely recommend. Again, major spoilers we've been talking, but if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Um, yeah, Shang-Chi, whatever. It was really good. Really good. The last thing I want to mention is today is September 11th, 2021. It is the 20th anniversary of the attacks on the World Trade Center, 9/11, 2001. We were trying to kind of keep this more comic related, but I did want to at least acknowledge it, at least mention it, at least say, it's a crazy day, I guess, in American history. It's something that 20 years later we're still remembering. Um, it was impactful, man. And Marvel, I know back then Marvel did I think DC did too, but we were gonna talk like New York based characters, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Hell's Kitchen, like stuff like that. I know back when Marvel, like when it happened, Marvel released kind of like a series of it was just black covers to like honor the thing, and they even did a story
Fallen,
back
yeah.
then. They did a story back then. I know Iron Man and Captain America each had, or I mean, Spider-Man and Captain America each had some stories back then, because Captain America too, he's from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Or Queens. Which
Yep.
one's from Queens?
Yep.
One's Queen and one Brooklyn. I think Spidey's Brooklyn. I think Queens is Cap. Either way,
Yeah,
yeah,
one way or
because
the
he's
other.
a little kid from Queens, right? He was
Yeah.
nobody from Queens who became Captain America. Anyway, this was really cool. I guess just this past week, I didn't know about this until like 10 minutes before we started this episode. I guess this past week, for 5 different series at the end of the series in Marvel, they do a thing here. You can't see it too well. It's Captain America and Iron Man, or Captain America and Spider-Man. I keep saying Iron Man. Captain America and Spider-Man, and they ring the bell. And this bell is kind of a memorial for firefighters. They ring the bell when there's a firefighter that passes, and they go back through, they ring the bells, and it's like a couple pages of them just showing. You can't see it too well, just showing all these different people who were affected by it and how much the bells mean to each person, basically. It's a quick thing, but this very last one, I'm really upset you can't see this. This very last one here is them standing. There you go. Them kind of standing at the memorial spot. Um, and Spidey turns to look at Cap. He said, "Did you know any of them?" And Captain says, "Every single one of them." And it's a picture of like all these people in the background. So I
Yeah.
thought that was a cool little tribute for sure.
Yeah.
So did you have anything to say about it, Matt? I don't know if you had anything to talk about for
Well,
that. I know we mentioned talking about it, but
I yeah.
if you had anything planned.
I know that that back then Marvel DC, I think they did a really good job of doing memorial covers and everything like that, and I'm pretty sure I know Marvel did a percentage of their profits that went to
Donated
the
to it, yeah.
recovery and went to the
Mm.
firefighters and everything. So it's one of those things that all Americans can get behind, and comic book nerds to far right, far left, whatever your preferences are in life,
We all know how
everybody kind of
horrible it
got
was.
behind that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I thought it was really symbolic and really cool. to see all that the comic book community did after 9/11. And then I know that they're doing stuff now too. So just keep on reading and keep on fighting. And I think that they picked the two best characters that are New York based, in my opinion,
Spider-Man and
to
Captain.
kind of push that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, Captain America, it's freaking Captain America, and he's from New York. And then Spider-Man is the most synonymous superhero with New York by far.
Right.
So I know that that the Punisher went over there for a while and everything, but
and again, you got Daredevil over in Hell's Kitchen, so and a big thing too is, especially nowadays, you don't really think about how many comic writers live in LA, or live in New York. I said LA, live in New York. How many comic book writers?
A lot of writers,
because I know Scott Snyder lives in New York. I know James Tynion lives in New York. I know a lot of comic book writers live in New York. So I can't imagine back then how much they were impacted just in general by what happened, so I'm sure.
Now I will say, to add a non-comic book thing, Josh, I would definitely recommend, and for the listeners and watchers out there, I would recommend, there's a series that Spike Lee has been doing, and the last episode airs tomorrow, which is Sunday, or today, whenever this gets posted. It's called New York 9/11 till now, kind of thing. And it's a really, really good documentary about like the coronavirus and how 9/11 affected New York, and kind of drawing comparisons between the two. So definitely check it out. I love Spike Lee. HBO. It's on HBO Max. I like Spike Lee a lot. So it's a 4-part series. The first 3 are up, and the final one comes out on 9/12. So
Spike Lee's good at being intense, which is one thing you can always count on for him.
Well, and I know that this probably isn't like the best thing to say, but like his music selection has always been great for me. And during this whole documentary, I love his music selection in it. So it's good, man. So definitely check it out.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I think on that note, I think that's it. I don't know if you didn't have anything else today, right?
I don't know. You're going to talk about your new job?
Not yet, only because I want to make sure I get off the ground and get going.
That? Hey, whip out that Jay and Silent Bob comic, though. You can show that.
I did. I started a new job just like very, very recently, and so I lost it.
You don't even have to say what the job is, but talk about the little comic that he had.
I don't fucking know where it's at. That's cool. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I just had it, and
in case any of your viewers didn't know, Josh lives in California.
I do, where the sale of cannabis is legal. So I'll just say that my new job that I just started is related to cannabis. So
but one of the cool things is that they have these Jay and Silent Bob joints and Jay and Silent Bob kind of canisters.
I can't find it.
Inside of the Jay and Silent Bob one is a little comic strip with Jay and Silent Bob, and I thought that was so freaking cool.
Can't find it. Not only that, it's and again, I don't want to spoil too much about where I'm working, because I don't know if I'm allowed to say just yet. So well, I don't know, because I figured promotional stuff would be promotional stuff,
Yeah.
But
so
here's
the let's see if it won't blur.
So you can't really see it.
Unblur. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Whatever. But it's
really cool.
And there's apparently 10 different ones of it. So like 10 different. If you get 10 of them, wasn't there 10 different ones? Is that what it says on it?
I read was that if you get the golden ticket, you win $1,000.
Yeah.
So it's like a Willy Wonka, Jay and Silent Bob,
Willy Wonka of weed,
which is awesome. There you
go. I will. I can dip into more of that if I, once everything starts going. But start a new job, and then very excited about it. Potential to be really cool. So on that note, I'm going to take off. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, we always appreciate it. Just thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to us. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Definitely like and subscribe and ring that bell. For sure, though, if we always love doing this, but we also really would love to do some more stuff. So the more subs we get, the more opportunities we have to do more stuff. So If you like what you're watching, you like what you're hearing, seeing, whatever, put the word out, tell your friends, and they tell their friends, and they
Yeah,
tell their
yeah.
friends, and so on and so on and so on. All right. Seriously, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are the best around.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Later.